Oh, YouTube, we're in trouble. I'm watching every day more and more rights being taken away, more and more threats, more and more injustice, more and more just out and out insanity. And, some people I know they're getting pretty fed up with it. And it doesn't seem like people know exactly which way to go. But one of my good friends phrased it like this: we can no longer abide the slow motion train wreck. Let's get it on. So my comment was, well, yeah, something's got to be done because, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And we don't seem to be gaining very much ground here. So I just thought I'd get on here and make a video and see what I could do about maybe we can all pull together and start getting a little organized. It seems to me like we've got to make it perfectly clear to Washington that enough is enough. Trying to take our weapons away from us and put us in a position where we're vulnerable and we just have to swallow anything that's thrown at us and be lucky to get it is just not American. And something's got to be done. So I put my Skype number here on one of the channels, and hopefully I'll get some calls. But it seems to me like we've definitely got to let Washington know that we're tired of it. We're not going to take this anymore, because it is indeed a slow motion train wreck. I mean, that's exactly what it is. So I guess this video is about what do we got to do. The first step that I think that we need to do is we need to get our spiritual house in order, because Scripture talks about those that build the house, unless they build it with the Lord's help, labor in vain. So I think that's the very first step. And the next step we need to do, we need to connect with our military, because if this thing goes hot, we're definitely going to need them. Especially considering where it is, there's almost 500,000 foreign troops on American soil now, and they've been there a while. There's been various videos where they've been spotted here and there, and hunters stumbling across them in the woods and all kinds of things. So that can be researched and verified. But enough is enough. I mean, it's like America's being bled out, and pretty soon it's going to be bled out to a point. It's going to be so anemic, nothing's going to be able to be able to be done. So, I guess my question to you guys is, what steps do you think we can take to turn this ship around before we hit the rocks? I, for one, am tired of hearing about the injustice. And I just can't in good conscience sit here and let this happen without at least going down swinging. Now, I'm not advocating violence unless violence comes to me. But elected officials are supposed to work for us. It's not about us being slaves working for them. But I think it's pretty clear that taking our tax dollars and they misappropriated those and they've spent it on themselves. I mean, come on, $1 million vacations for Mr. Obama. Are you kidding me? I mean, who does this guy think he is, and where is the outrage from the American public? defies logic. Here we are going down the tubes, and he's having mega holidays at our expense. So I'd like to get some insight from you folks as far as which direction we need to go here. But I think we got a pretty large uphill battle, because word is that Congress, the question everybody's asking is, why aren't Congress doing anything about this guy? And like I put in my post, that the word is that the new kids on the block with Congress are pretty well maneuvered and put into positions of where they're compromised, and then it's documented, and that information is used to blackmail them at a later date. So everybody wants to keep their mouth shut. Nobody wants to be exposed for their dirty little deeds. But I think it's gonna come time when people are just gonna, hey, they're just gonna fess up. Hey, I blew it, and it's no reason for me to keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna have to stand up for my mistakes and take it on the chin and just let the ashes fall where they may. But something's got to be done. Something's got to be done about this government taking more and giving less. So again, my thing is we need to get our spiritual house in order, because we're going to need God on this one. Of course, we need God in everything, but we're definitely going to need God on this one. And reconnecting with our troops. Any of you guys that know people that have family, that have family that are in the military, or maybe you have friends in the military, I think it's time you start talking to them. And because we got to put an end to this. Now, everybody knows, it's, like I said, been around, that foreign troops on American soil. They're here, and it's planned. UN troops, and everybody's seen the vehicles. And they're here, and they're ready. And now we got Predator drones flying over our heads. And, the bottom line is we can't trust and believe anything our government says anymore. They say, well, yeah, we're going to use them for traffic. Remember that when that came out? Well, it's just traffic. Just 30,000 traffic drones. So, of course, we'll never arm them. And then this Dahmer thing, where this cop was exposing the corruption in LAPD, and then the cops went absolutely crazy and was shooting up civilians. And my understanding is one of them still in the hospital in critical condition. It seems like our president, our Congress, our police forces, they do all this stuff with immunity. That's not the American way. This has to end. This has to end. Read an article the other day that Oregon is talking about making it mandatory that the cops come beat your door down once a year and make sure you don't have any assault rifles. Yet we have a Second Amendment that gives us the right to bear arms, and we're supposed to be equally armed. I don't know how many drones we got flying around, civilian, but even with assault rifles, I think we're behind the 8-ball. But with God on our side, I think miraculous things can happen. I think history has proven that. So, but again, the first thing we have to do is get our heart right. And then we have to put Washington on notice and clear certain terms that this has got to end. So I'm looking for some ideas, some thoughts, some input, uh, exactly how we should go about this. But I'm tired of the twisted mainstream media twisting the truth, uh, spreading lies, deceptions. Uh, I guess I could sit here and I could just live out as long as I could in peace. Because to be honest with you, I got very discouraged and very frustrated with what I saw going on in the States. I'll give you a little example. I had a previous wife that was a gold digger, and she married me because I owned my own company. I think, in retrospect, and it seems like right after the wedding day, she started changing. She started giving me grief, and I'm the kind of guy when I shake your hand, I'm going to keep my word, and I expect other people to do the same thing. Well, obviously there was some conflict there, and she started her crap one day, and she's outside on the patio, and I'm standing at the patio door, and she just kind of freaked out and came charging at me. So I just kind of, shut the door and used it as a barrier, and she ran right into this door and hit it with such force I thought she was going to shatter the glass. And if you'd have seen the look on her face, I mean, it was funny. And the mistake I made was I busted up laughing. Well, she didn't turn, now she got a red spot on the side of her head, so she calls the cops and say I hit her. So the cops come out and arrest me for felony spousal abuse, which is total BS. Then they take my guns. She even told them my guns weren't involved. Then she gets a restraining order and has me thrown out of my house, which is also my business location. So, and then she proceeds to take that time and ransack my house and take any and everything that she wanted, even though I had a prenuptial agreement that clearly stated what I owned prior and everything else. I went to the police saying, hey, she's, taking all this stuff. And they said, hey, it's a civil matter. Yet when they were arresting me, I told them, I says, look, I'll take a polygraph. I didn't touch her. And you know what the cop said? He says, well, you can thank OJ. I said, I don't know OJ. What does OJ have to do with me? They wouldn't give me a polygraph. They wouldn't give me a chance to try to prove my innocence. They just filed charges. So I fought and fought and fought that one and ended up pleading guilty to disturbing the peace, which we did have an argument, so I could swallow that. But anything beyond that, it would have cost me 15 grand to beat. So I had a choice: a $500 ticket, or spend 15,000 and get a bunch of Jerry Springer, watching, members of a jury. That was a decision. That was a chance I just did not want to take. So I just went ahead and paid my 500, and cop to an infraction, and then. But I knew the writing was on the wall. Time to get out at that point in time. And even the cops themselves, pulled me to the side and they said, "Look, we know your wife is a real piece of work, but our hands are tied here." So they even knew the truth. And the DA, I think they knew the truth too, but it was all about convictions. It's all about making their mark in the world. It doesn't matter what is right and what is truthful. It's about convictions. So I knew right then that this was not the America I was raised in. So, and I never did get my guns back, ever, never got them back. So, and it puzzled me as to why they took them and why they didn't want to give them back, because there's no reason. They want to put me through the hoops with the Department of Justice and everything else. Well, I'm not a felon. I'm not a criminal. So, other than going to jail for knocking a guy over 3 tables one time in a bar fight because he grabbed my girlfriend's boob, I mean, you know, hey, the guy had it coming, you know. But, and then we ended up friends because he didn't want to mess with me anymore, but that's another story. But anyway, getting back to this has to end. So what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Because I'm sitting here, I'm getting tired of watching this stuff every day, and it's going nowhere, except worse and worse and worse. So do me a favor and give me some input on what do you think we need to do, and let's get the show on the road because I'm tired of it. Talk to you guys later. Love you. Take care.